I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on, agenda item 5. So 5A, B, C, D, E will be discussed tonight. So agenda item 5A. Discuss, consider, and act on an ordinance changing the zoning from AG agricultural to GC general commercial for property located at the northwest corner of Harmon Road with Haslet Parkway, known as 750 Harmon Road. And we're going to begin with our staff presentation.
Yeah, Chairman and members of the board, this is with a QT, the applicant, Quick Trip, for approximately a year, I would say. And we've been going back and forth. And so we have 3 items on your agenda that are all relate to each other. One of them is this zoning request, and it's just on the corner as shown on this on the location map. And then there will be 2 other things, which will be a site plan and also a preliminary plat, which covers more acreage than what this site covers, what their zoning covers. And the reason for that is when you do planning work and you do site planning and you do preliminary plat, first thing you have to do is you have to include all of your property that you own. Well, the owner of this property owns clear up to the north east-west leg of Harmon Road, just north of this property. And so they had to include it. But that's important to when you're doing the site planning and the water and sewer analysis and the civil plans to make sure that there's adequate facilities that are addressed on the property that they own. And having said that, this is a request from agricultural, which is the current zoning on the property, to general commercial. And it's also in conformance with the comprehensive master land use plan. And if you could bring that up just a little bit. It's in the part of the staff, right? It's right there. You can see it. It's pointing to the area in red, which is commercial. And also Harmon Road on the east side is going to be a major thoroughfare, which does not follow totally the current alignment that follows right now. It jogs to the left in the master thoroughfare plan and the master land use plan. It'll jog to the right and end up tying into Heritage Parkway to the north of Westport Parkway. And on the south of the property is the newly constructed Haslet Parkway, which is currently in a 4-lane divided situation. Having said that, that's pretty much my presentation. If you have any questions for me or anything that comes up, I will try to answer.
Thank you very much. Is the applicant present this evening? Is there any additional information you want to share with us?
Good evening. My name is Brian Clark, 8700 Freeport Parkway, Irving, Texas, representing Quick Trip. I just want to take this opportunity to thank staff, Mike as well, for helping us get this project to where it is right now. There's been a lot of back and forth, and I think this is going to be a really great product for the city of Haslet. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, Quick Trip related.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here.
Yes.
All right, moving on, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak for or against agenda item 5A? And if anybody raises if you're online and you're participating via teleconference, then if you raise your hand or put a message in we'll be able to see that and give you an opportunity to speak. Are you seeing anybody raise their hand online? Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, recognize that no one came forward in the room or raised their hand online. We will close the public hearing and move to discussion, consideration, and action. So any questions for the city staff or the applicant? Okay, if there's no questions, is there a motion?
A motion that we consider recommendation approval for the ordinance changing from zoning from AG agricultural to GC general commercial for the property located at the corner of Harmon Road with Haslet Parkway, 750 Harmon Road.
There's a motion to recommend approval. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on, agenda item 5B, discuss, consider, and act regarding the approval of a site and landscape plan for 750 Harmon Road. And this is the same property we just discussed in 5A. And moving to the next step is the landscape plan. So we'll begin with our staff presentation.
Yeah, there's several things I want to mention about the site plan. And this is in the I-35W overlay district, and there's some special standards that you can do in there, and some of them are more restrictive and some of them are more lenient. One of the more lenient ones is the signage. You can have taller signs than you can in the rest of the city. If you're in that I-35 corridor, you can have up to a 35-foot tall sign. And that's for advertising purposes for the travelers going down I-35. Some of the more restrictive is you're in the overlay district. In the airport overlay district, which is another overlay into this area, is you have a 50-foot setback from the property lines, which they've set back their canopy, their buildings to adhere to that. They've also added landscape that was required, and just a note, there will be another site to the north, which you might see in some of the drawings, and that is part of the property that included in just some of the site planning to make sure that adequate drainage and utilities were provided for under common ownership at this point. That's all I have at this point.
All right. We will begin with the public hearing. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak for or against agenda item 5B? Again, if you'll let me know if anybody raises their hand online, that would be great. Okay, recognizing that no one raised their hand online or came forward in the room, we'll close the public hearing and we'll move to discussion for agenda item 5B. Are there any questions for the city staff or the applicant regarding 5B?
Yeah, Maurice, so northbound on Harmon off of Haslet Parkway, there's no provision for left turn into QT, so that'd be right turn only out of those two. There's two driveways. There's two driveways separated by an island.
Yeah, at this point, Harmon Road is not totally improved, and there will be some improvements on Harmon Road adjacent to this site. And however, vehicles coming into the site, if you're going westbound on Haslet Parkway, you'll turn in towards the southwest corner of the site. And then if you're eastbound, there's going to be a new median opening. You can see it's a hooded left turn. So it's just a left turn in. So all vehicles leaving the site, if you're going to go eastbound on Haslet Parkway, you'll go out the driveways that are on the east side onto Harmon Road. And then there will end up being a signal light at Harmon and Haslet Parkway. And then if you're going back to the west, then you can go out the southwest corner of the site out of that driveway.
So are they improving Harmon Road along the
There will be
property line
improvements along Harmon Road. Right now, it's
to what extent? I mean, it goes on here, divided road, 2 lanes both ways. So are they rebuilding Harmon Road into a concrete divided road?
it will be yes.
Okay. So there are some improvements.
There will be improvements on Harmon Road.
Are they
It will not be the asphalt road you see today.
No, but will it be permanent improvement?
It'll be permanent improvements.
Okay. So they're going to make permanent improvements so the city doesn't have to spend any money
That is
improving
correct.
that portion of roadway.
That is correct.
All right. So what we see here is what I haven't seen the cross section. I guess there is.
Yeah, when you look at the civil plans, the preliminary civil plans,
Yeah.
the next item,
Okay.
that'll be covered.
Saw it at home. Here, not flipped up. Still, I can see it. Okay. All right. So
And just a note, they have submitted a lighting plan to the city, so we have that information. The irrigation plan, no, they haven't provided that, but they will have to do that, you know, as they work through the building permit, but they do have provided a lighting plan for this, for the site. No, it's really not one of the things that you have to hide. They have to eventually provide that as part of the, you know, building plan package and landscape package, but not the irrigation system. Sure. Okay. Well, I can put that on the screen for you if you want to see it. Okay.
But all of the landscaping in the city does require irrigation.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, so we do require, we can't let it put it. Yeah, and we did get the signalization at the end, all that there. That's part of the initial construction?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are the,
Okay. I haven't gone to that. Yeah, when you look at the fixtures, they have a listing of the fixtures that are not. No. Okay, I can email it to you quick. Yeah, everything's down lighting, and should be coming your way. Yeah, I can. If you look at there's one right. You can see that right here. And there'll be a up here. Scroll down there, come around the very back. And some of the islands. No, there's the shield on top, all the lights. You know, that's on the building itself. There should be some little boxes that are shown, and there's just a few around the edge. Yeah. Oh no, 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 no. In fact, you can see the numbers of the lumens down there as you go away from the building. They go from up to 10 right at the building, down to 2.9, 2.3 as you leave the building, and then they decrease to 1 as you go away. Yeah. No, it does not throw light to the north. It's to the south, straight down. Mm-hmm. No, it won't be zero right there. It'll be there's going to be light that you'll be able to see some light going on to that commercial site to the north. Okay. Well, I would recommend that you make a motion to along those lines then. Make that as a comment in your approval that any lighting shall be, won't allow any spill off of the site. Mm-hmm. Normally what you do is you put a barricade there until such time as that they're connected. Yeah, that's an ownership that's, well, actually it's owned by the city of Fort Worth, that track to the west. Oh, to the north. Oh, okay. Yeah, there won't be any, there's no traffic allowed there to the north. There's no connection. Mm-hmm. No, it's future. It's future. Yeah, it's future.
So I guess if that future, the 5 12x4 MBCs up there on the west end of the north of the north lot. Wouldn't that be better suited there, just on the north of the service station site, to restrict any traffic going north? That's an undeveloped lot. Just curiosity. See the 5 MBCs up at the top, northwest corner?
Yeah.
Those are barricades.
That's future drainage. Those are,
Well, clear to me, I don't see the problem. Point is, I mean, are we gonna limit traffic north of the site? Or, I mean, just north of lot, all of that, just so that there's no traffic going up into that vacant lot. I mean,
yeah,
that's just,
they're not planning on building a Harmon Road past their site.
the
past
service
the-
station site.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
so it,
Okay, I'm sure all of that's in construction.
and we asked them to show all that information, so we make sure that we have,
And I can't read this. Okay.
Any other questions? And when that road to the north of Lot 2 gets developed, or is that a drive? Is that a road or a drive on the north boundary?
well, right now, that's where the current Harmon Road goes. It jogs to the left. However,
Okay.
it's not going to
Alright.
be a major thoroughfare. It'll be more of a local industrial road rather than divided street.
Are there no other questions? Is there a motion? It's the lighting plan be updated to and reflect compliance with city ordinances for no light spillage. It needs to be updated and conform to city ordinances regarding light spillage, right? Or light pollution, I guess. Or actually, but- Tell you what, I'll just make the motion. I make a motion, we recommend to city council approval of the site plan and the landscape plan for 750 Harmon Road with with one change request, that the applicant update the lighting plan and the lighting strategy so that the northern boundary of the property does not allow for light spillage beyond lot 1 currently being developed, initially going to be developed.
I second the motion.
Okay. Motion been seconded. All in favor? Motion passes. Moving on, agenda item 5C, discuss, consider, and act regarding the approval of the QT preliminary plat. And we will begin with our staff presentation. Same property.
Same property, just a little bit more information. Like I mentioned earlier, when you have a piece of property and you have an ownership, you have to include all your property. And when you do that, yeah,
We get choked up about these things sometimes.
I'm talking more than I usually do tonight.
All right, I put you on the spot.
But anyway, this plan that's on the screen, that's pretty much the entire piece of property. And then there's a little leg that goes off to the west of it and to the north. The little area to the west is going to be mostly drainage as it goes, and it's not going to be really incorporated into the site plan. And then you have a part to the north, which would be a future lot 2, which would include there's a big box that's been shown on it right now with a lot of parking, like it's almost 100% coverage. That's worst case scenario. We don't anticipate it happening like that, but those things will be addressed when you have the zoning case that'll come in for that property, and also a site plan, which should be a detailed site plan for that, which we don't have because we don't know what's going to happen there. And so right now it'll remain in agricultural zoning. And this plat covers the civil portion, and like I say, we include both 1 and 2, but they'll come back with a final plat, which would be just on lot 1. Having said that,
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll go ahead and turn to the applicant. Any additional information you want to share with us this evening? All right, thank you. At this time, we will discuss, consider, and act. So we don't actually have to open a public hearing for a approval of a preliminary plat. So we're just going to go to discussion, consideration, and act. Can you scroll to one of the other earlier exhibits on the one that has the color shade on it? And maybe it was in one of our other ones. Actually, one of the other ones. In the very, the southeast corner of that lot, there's a little carve out in one of the exhibits. I assume that's because of the right-hand turn lane off Harmon onto past the Parkway, right?
that's the one you see right there.
Well, it's in one of the colored drawings, but it's like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the ones that has it, and I'm not sure if it was in 5B's exhibit set or if it was. We go to 5B's exhibit set. Sorry, I should have asked this. Take a run through 5A then real quick, because it was in one of the three, because I was looking at it today.
There was the clip on that corner that was obtained when they were getting the right-of-ways, Haslet Parkway.
No, that's not it. It was it was the property was red in what I was looking at. Then one of the ones where the. Okay, keep going.
Those are the only two colored drawings other than the location.
I'm looking at it. We pulled the drawing out of the set.
Stephen, go down to the civil plans.
Well, I don't know that it. Yeah, we don't. If you can't find it, I just want to make sure that one. It wasn't square. The drawing wasn't square. In that southeast corner, there was a cutout.
Mm-hmm.
And
A triangle cut out?
no, it was actually rectangular. You see it? There was a drawing where lot one was shaded earlier today. Yeah, please, go on.
The reason that it shows that way is that land was already dedicated before for the Harmon Road update. So that piece of property was already dedicated. And then the new property lines show the new dedication lines on the plat. No, sir, because that was part of the property that was already dedicated.
Yeah, that was dedicated with Haslet Parkway just to make the connection to the Haslet Parkway with Harmon Road.
If not, is there a motion?
I recommend that we recommend approval of the QT preliminary plat.
Okay, there's a motion to approve the preliminary plat. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion been second. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for being interested in the city of Haslet. Okay, moving on. Agenda item 5D, discuss, consider, and act regarding the approval of the North Glen Phase 3 final plat. And we'll begin with our staff presentation.
This is another continuation of an existing plat of the North Glen, which is to the south. And this is the third phase, and there will be an additional phase that fills in basically where the arrows are on the diagram, but that's a future phase. But this connects up to Blue Mound Road, and it has some new streets that will be added in the northern section and the southern section of it. And these are half-acre lots, and it's been through review, and there's a letter from our city engineer on this, and he's recommending that you forward it with recommendation of approval.
And is the applicant present this evening? Is there any additional information you want to share this evening? Okay. All right, we'll discuss, consider, and act. We do not have to have a public hearing for a approval of a final plat, so we'll move to discussion. So I'm going to ask one question regarding lot sizes. So these are all supposed to be half-acre lots, but there's 33 lots that are smaller than a half acre. But no, they're less than that. They're less than a half acre. They're even on their drawings, they're less than half. Yeah, if you look at the table, they're 0.46, yeah, there's a bunch of 4.6s, 4 some others. So what's the threshold? So I don't have my calculator turned on here. 43, 100. Go ahead. If you have any other questions, go ahead and ask.
Yeah. So I guess I'm very concerned. I live in this neighborhood, and we've already got folks going very fast down like straightaways that already exist. What are we expecting is going to happen with traffic that's going to try to bypass that corner stoplight? Because the high school to about 2 miles south of there, or to the west, all kinds of traffic going north. It's a mess. So I'm just concerned that we've already got a problem with the existing neighborhood. Now we're going to open up a whole new avenue for these folks filing through. I'm asking questions. I don't know what to do with that. There's a lot of concern about it.
Well, this plat is in conformance with a preliminary plat that was done a few years back. And it's hard to go back and change those street patterns once they have their stubs out ready to where they're adding new lots on.
Is there anything that can be done like with signage, or I really hate to do speed bumps. I hate speed bumps. Is there anything we can do with signage about limiting its neighborhood traffic? I mean, what are the options we can tell the homeowners who live there? Because, like I said, it's already it's bad as it is, and it's going to get worse if we open up that.
So the traffic is, what you're saying is going to get worse is people going to the north out to Blue Mound Road?
Yes, and then cutting across to go wherever. Like I said, it's already bad as it is, and we're just expecting it's going to get a lot worse if we open the road to Blue Mound. And like I said, I know it's, like you say, it's approved a couple of years ago, but what can we do now to slow them down?
I would recommend you have your HOA talk to city staff about what controls. Like, far as it relates to preliminary plat, that would
can't
be
do
on the not part of the plan.
It slows it down.
Yeah, they'll tend to find the less path of resistance.
Miracle away.
The last, the preliminary plat that I show is the dated March 2020. That's the one everybody's referring to. Compare the final plat to the preliminary plat.
Whatever the last one.
That's the one. That's the last one.
And there were just a few little adjustments we did because we asked them to actually line the streets up on the east end because originally they weren't quite lined up. And so we asked them to adjust. So there are some minor changes, but not wholesale.
We even, I think, reduced some of the long straight. So, and there's no planned improvements for Blue Mountain as part of this. It's associated with final plat, right? But I didn't go improve.
I don't believe there are.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we recommend to the city council the approval of the North Glen Phase 3 final plat.
Okay, motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on, agenda item 5E, discuss, consider, and act regarding the approval of the Latera Commercial Preliminary Plat. And we'll begin with our staff presentation.
And Chairman and members of the commission, this is another area we've been working for quite a while on. And there was a TIA performed, and there's going to be some future improvements to turn-ins on this particular side. And it has been through the staff review, and we are recommending that you forward it to the city council with a recommendation of approval. I believe they were going to be online tonight.
Is the applicant online this evening? Jeremy, or if anybody else could speak for the applicant, if you have any additional information to share, you'd have an opportunity to do that this time. Raising hand. There you go.
This is Jeremy Nelson with Kirkman Engineering. I'm the engineer of record on the project, so if you have any questions.
Hey, Jeremy, hold on 1 minute. We're trying to get your audio to come through the speaker system in the room.
Okay, can you hear me? I'm
Jeremy, can
available
you still
for
hear us?
questions if you. Yes.
Jeremy, are you there? We could barely hear you, so we're gonna go ahead and ask some questions to city staff, and if we have any questions, we'll either type those for you so you can see those and give you a chance to respond, but we'll figure something out.
Let me just address that for just a couple seconds. There is a water line that's being proposed down on the southern end of this side, and that's a future water line. And this is a preliminary plat, and their intention immediately is only to develop one of the lots. So they'll come back with a final plat on one of the lots up in right there along 156, northern lot. And that water line will not come into play at this time on this final plat. But on future plats, as they develop the southern portion of that, we will need to circulate the water across the railroad track towards the school on the west side of that, but not at this time.
Okay, so in the future, we will have to remember that when we approve the final plat to include the obligations and responsibilities of the applicant to improve that water line.
That is correct, and when they bring that in, we'll refer back to this preliminary plat and the comments, and it'll be addressed at that point.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Are there any other questions for the city staff or the applicant? I guess I maybe have a question from a serviceability from emergency vehicles. There's a lot of curved drives in this thing. Can we get our fire trucks in and around all of this the way it's drawn?
I'm going to let the gentleman across here answer that, but I know that they have looked at this quite extensively.
Yes, this meets our 26-foot fire lane ordinance along with our turning radius requirements for all of our fire trucks. It also takes into account for possible future access problems that we may as the lot develops.
Okay, and there's no parking that would potentially get developed that would interfere with that radius?
No, there's no parking that's going to interfere with our turning abilities. Each lot's designed with its parking area that shouldn't affect the roadways or the fire lanes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is sort of like the one we saw with QT. We had them actually do a layout with buildings, parking lots on all of this that are very generic. Basically, worst case scenario is just to make sure that we could address those things.
Okay, any other questions? If not, a motion?
I'll make a motion that we recommend approval of the Latera commercial preliminary plat. Approval to the city council for that preliminary plat.
Motion to approve the preliminary plat for the Latera Commercial District.
I'll second
Development. Is there a second?
I second it.
Motion been second, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
There's a lot of things that are going on that are in the preliminary stages, and I really can't, speak to them. Some of them are, being reviewed by the staff in various parts of the city through the development review process, but nothing that I can really come out and talk about at this point.
Yeah, I was referring to things that we've already approved. Anything that's already on the ground in development. Is there anything you want to add regarding the exhibits that we did? Construction, number of roofs that are under development or anything? Or
Well, there's a lot of rooftops going up. And there's a lot of things going on through the city through traffic control, speed bumps in some areas that the city council has worked with, and it's been some positives and some negative comments about that. But we're moving forward. Everything that you've seen, is moving forward. Well, hopefully Milestone Church will be back on the agenda for then, and there are several other, perhaps zoning cases that will be, coming forward also.